Today, I'm going to be speaking to you about something extremely important, and that is what are the things that accelerate your abundance? As the great poet Rumi once said, your task is not to seek love, it is to seek and find the barriers to love. And exactly the same thing applies to abundance. And when we actually think about it, the barriers to love are the barriers to abundance. So, in order to accelerate abundance in your life, in order to accelerate love in your life and joy in your life, you get to identify what is blocking that love, what is blocking that joy, what is blocking that abundance so that you can shift it. The first block to abundance, to love, is basically emotional resistance. Sometimes you may have been hurt in the past, and you may have decided that you're never going to be hurt like that again. And as a result, you are choosing to not feel certain feelings, to not let certain people in, right? Another thing could be that maybe you did something that you're not so proud of. And now, instead of simply forgiving yourself and just understanding that you did what you did with the information and the intelligence and the wisdom you had at the time, you choose to live in shame, blame, and guilt. All of these are like walls around your heart. They're like walls around your energetic field. And so even those things that you intend to, that you're visualizing, that you're manifesting, that you're declaring and calling into your life cannot really take on form because the soil is too brittle. Something is covering it. So if you truly want to accelerate abundance in your life, then it is essential that you become open emotionally, open to feel the joy, open to feel the love. This takes courage, which is why we put in place sneaky little strategies, sometimes subconscious, that block us from actually feeling and receiving that which we truly desire. The second block I'm going to share is quite a sneaky one, and it's quite linked to the first. Because when we do not want to feel certain things, which may be painful, I agree, what we do is we put into strategies ways in which not to experience them. And one of these is workaholism, constantly being busy, constantly in action, constantly doing something. I know this so well. When I was in the corporate world, I was constantly on my phone. I was working with the intensity of a Formula One driver and the dedication of a doctor on call. And I was doing this month in, month out. No wonder my hormones were all over the place. I was stressed out of my mind. I was having unexplained aches and pains. The doctors could not just tell me what was wrong. And it was simply because the stress levels were breaking down my body slowly but surely. And overworking, workaholism, although some people seem to pride themselves in it, I used to, is a very sure way to block your blessings. Because when you are in workaholism and constantly in doing, constantly in action, and never taking the time to rest, then what is happening is that you actually reach the point of diminishing returns. And when you reach that point, it means that you're putting in all the action, maybe even more, but getting in less and less, which leads to frustration. And if you are in frustration, then you're certainly not on the frequency of delight and gratitude and joy, which will be exactly what you get to experience when you have what you want. And so overworking is definitely an abundance block. It's also coming from a space of scarcity. It's saying that I don't trust that I will receive with ease. I don't trust that I have put in the seed, and it will grow. I have to go and check it and see whether it's growing and unearth it and just double check and not trusting that things will come to me when I show up. So that overworking is a deep one. We could actually do several episodes on that. However, let me just say this. If you find yourself constantly in action, rather frantic, then you definitely want to see and shift that because it is actually blocking that which you are choosing to work for. The other block is disconnection from yourself. Now, disconnection from yourself it's a very sneaky one because, of course, nobody decides to wake up one morning and say, hey, I'm disconnecting from myself. But sometimes we've been so disappointed. Sometimes we're so busy chasing things that are outside, of us. Sometimes we're just so influenced or wanting to be so appreciated and recognized by society that we really forget, what do I want? What makes me happy? This may not be the same thing as your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your boss, whoever. What is it that you truly desire? Who are you? And when you disconnect from yourself, when you disconnect from your soul and your spirit, then you truly are not living on purpose, because in the end, you are a spiritual being living a human experience. When you disconnect from yourself, then your mind, although it's very intelligent, is now leading instead of your soul and your spirit, which is even more powerful and holds the wisdom. And so you find yourself perhaps achieving, however, there is little or no fulfillment. You find yourself creating impact, but is that impact aligned with your true essence and what you came to bring to the world? And so it's very important that if you truly want to experience abundance, love, and joy, then you get to step into reconnecting with your true self and showing up with authenticity. Now, the fourth block is confusion. When there is no clarity, then what's happening is you're a sitting duck because you're not intentional, either at a vibrational level or even a mental or emotional level, about what it is you want to call into your life. And when this happens, then where is the focus? What are you a magnet for? You probably find yourself being a magnet for all the things you don't want and wondering why they're coming because you're saying the opposite. However, you're not clear. You're not clear about what it is you truly desire. Because if you're saying one thing and you're doing another thing, what's the universe meant to respond to? So it is essential that if you really want something in your life, that you then become clear in your heart and your soul about what it is you desire. In fact, if you've experienced a lot of confusion, then it probably means that you're working only from the mental and that you're also stressed. And there's this disconnection between the head and the heart. And this may take work to create the alignment again. It is, however, essential that you do that. No clarity will lead to either very, very slow manifestation or the manifestation of the things that you actually don't want in your life. Now, the fifth block is when you use frustration as your fuel. Are you always complaining? Are you always saying, oh, yes, I'm going to be happy when that happens? Are you saying I need to be a perfectionist and check everything up and be dissatisfied with everything I have so that I can then strive to get more? If that's where you're operating from, that's an old model. It's essential if you truly want love, joy, abundance in your life, that you step up with your attitude of gratitude, that you already feel the joy and gratitude now that you would feel when you get it. The other day, I lost my passport, and this passport had my US visa in it. And I really, truly wasn't sure I was going to be able to get on the plane because I'd basically decided to look into it maybe 7 days before. And when I looked online, the next visa interview was going to be on the 17th of June. I was meant to be on a plane on the 7th of February, and this was maybe the 31st of January I'm talking about. In any case, I found myself almost going into frustration, doubt, stress, what's going to happen, etc. And I paused myself and I practiced releasing the need for me to be in New York in order to feel good. So I imagined, how would it be when I'm at 11 Madison Park, a restaurant that we'd booked to go to? How would it feel to be in the beautiful Carlisle where myself and my husband would be staying? How would it be when we are at the Carnegie Hall where we're going to be seeing Gregory Porter? I felt all of that, and it felt so good that I didn't need for it to happen for it to really shift my experience. I got a text practically immediately that I was going to be able to get a visa appointment the next day or the day after, that had gotten a concierge service. So what I'm saying to you is this: when you use gratitude, trust, allowing, relaxation as a fuel, as opposed to frustration and stress and anger, etc., things manifest so much quicker because you've created space for it. You're on the frequency of it. You're open to it. And the last block I'm going to be talking about is difficulty receiving. Now, this is a really big one because if you are asking for things and the things are coming to you, the law, and you are deflecting them by just maybe not trusting completely, maybe by complaining all the time about things, maybe by not feeling enough, maybe by questioning why you, all this mental busy chatter, then you will resist the blessing that's already yours. So even if you do all the other steps perfectly well, and it now comes into your presence, and you are not able to truly take it into your life with gratitude and embody the receiving of it, then you will not have abundance, you will not have joy, and you won't have love. We happen to be in the season of love. It's in Valentine's today. And I remember a time when I was single. I was a queen of singledom. And year in, year out, St. Valentine's will come and I would always be single. And this morning when I woke up, I'm not single anymore. I have married my soulmate. I am so grateful for him. But I realized something, that in the end, my first and foremost St. Valentine's is myself. You are your St. Valentine's, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're single. You get to treat yourself extra special. You get to love yourself. It doesn't have to be some big fancy event. I went downstairs and I made myself a beautiful cup of tea that I really like, in addition to my hot water that I drink anyway. That was it. And I did my morning ritual. And I just said to myself, happy St. Valentine. Yes, this is part of the receiving. How are you treating yourself? If you want abundance and you don't treat yourself well, then abundance is kind of confused. Because if you have abundance, then you are worthy. And so you get to treat yourself with worthiness so that you are a match for the abundance that you seek. I'd love to know which of these shifts you get to make so that you can receive the abundance in every way in your life, be it love, be it joy, be it money, be it whatever it is. It may be health and vitality. Share below in the comments which of these you get to shift so you can become a vessel for receiving abundance. Love and light.